Sometimes it's nice just to get away from it all, and today I decided that I was needing a bit of escape, and where better to go than a mountain and getting out in the great outdoors. And the mountain I'd chosen was at the top of a long Scottish glen in the Cairngorms, and I was really looking forward to enjoying a day out and getting away. I'd chosen the bike to speed up my progress up the glen, and what a fine cycle it was. I was really looking forward to the adventure ahead. After about an hour on the bike, which was mainly uphill cycling, not too much of a gradient though, it was fine. Anyway, I knew I was reaching the near the end of the glen because there's an old ruined lodge here with some forest around it. And just beyond that, I cycled a bit further before becoming a bit stuck and deciding to drop the bike at this point and continue on foot. Oh man, it's actually quite warm today. Anyway, as you've just seen, I've cycled in today and cycled up this lovely glen in the Eastern Highlands, and I've never actually been here before. I've done all the Munros and mountains in this area, but I've never accessed them from this glen. And the glen I cycled up is called Glen Eye, and it kind of runs parallel to Glen Shee, which is a bit further east over there. And it's quite I don't know how far in it is, but it's taken me about an hour and a half to cycle in. I wasn't rushing, but it was a lovely cycle. And just behind me here, the kind of Land Rover track ends at, I think it's Altnor Lodge, which is an old ruin, and there's a bit of protected forest, deer fencing around it, which is quite nice. And I see that they're planting some young saplings further down in the glen, which will be nice if for in the future for our children to see. But anyway, so the objective for today is over here. I don't know if you can make it out in the camera. Oops a daisy. Poor camera. Right. Let's move this a bit closer. Right. Right. Take two. This is a bit of a jagged rock. I better watch where I'm sitting. Right, as you've probably just seen, the camera fell over. I had it in a bit of a precarious position, so it's a bit more stable there. And you might be able to see, I think I was talking about the old lodge, the old ruins, Altnor Lodge, just behind me there, just where those trees are. I don't know if you can make it out or not. Anyway, now behind me, or behind you, is I'm going to go up a Munro today. So I've cycled up to the head of Glen Eye, and it's a Munro. I've only done it once before, and as I said, I've never done it from this direction. What a beautiful glen it is. It's a wee bit cloudy, but the sun is trying to break through, and the cloud base is above the top. So yeah, I'm going to leave the bike here. It's just behind me. I've padlocked it up, and now it's time to get the walking poles out and see if I can get to the top of this Munro. So enough talking, let's get walking. Yeah, strange wee post here like that. Must be some sort of marker. Been there for a while anyway. Anyway, enough gibbering about posts in the peat. You see behind me in the sun now is Ben Luar Vor, which is where I'm headed for. It's almost, once you get up, there's a steep section, it's surrounded by steep slopes. Then once you're up onto the ridge, it's a gentle ascent along to the summit, which is at the far end as we were looking at it. So I'm going to be heading up here somewhere. I can't see any paths up here. Most people, when they do this, do it as part of a combo, maybe with 2 or I think you can do up to 5 Munros here, and certainly this is a middle one, so not many people just come straight up it. So I'm not expecting to find anything resembling a path until I'm up there. But yeah, things are looking promising. There's a few showers kicking about, but it's nice to see some sunshine. So I better get moving and up this steep bit, get the legs working. Let's go. At this point, crossing the Peat Hag, there really wasn't any paths, and I wasn't expecting there to be, and that was another reason I'd chosen this route, just to get away from it, and I hadn't seen another shoal. It was great, but those Peat Hags were a bit tricky, and I was glad when I got out of them and above them, and I soon reached a nice little grouse spot where I decided to stop and have a bite to eat. It's raining. A bit cold to get my jacket on. A bite to eat here. See if this shower goes off. Oh. A lovely wee bit of shelter I've got here. A wee rain shower came in there. And coming up this hill, yeah, I don't know if you noticed, but I put my gaiters on back down at the bike, so I knew the track kind of peters out, and as I mentioned, there's no track up here at all. There's sort of faint ATV tracks, and you can see here I'm making good use of this grouse butt to keep me out of the rain and shelter me from the wind at the moment. And I'm just at the lower part of Ben Luar Vor, the steep part. I'm just the way to do. So I've had a wee chocolate bar, maybe to give me some energy, or hopefully to give me some energy. And once I'm up here, it shouldn't really take me too long to get to the summit. I think I was going to retrace my steps. I was thinking of going round. There's another hill called Ben Luar Beg, or Veg, which is obviously big and small. There's lots of those in Scotland, but I think I might just retrace my steps across the Peat Hag, and then once I get to the bike, it shouldn't be too bad. But yeah, I'm just kind of procrastinating at the moment because I know this bit's going to be a test of the thighs and calves going up this steep slope. So yeah, I'll maybe sit here for a bit longer before moving on up. Whoa, I'm looking forward to this. So I sat for a bit longer and let the rain shower pass, and I started up the slope, and yeah, just as it looked, it was steep, it was pathless, and it was a bit slippery on that grass. Care is needed if you go up this way. Anyway, before long I was on the summit ridge, and I was glad to be there. A bit easier walking, but I was under no illusions. The map doesn't lie, and there was still a fair few kilometres to trek until I reached the summit of the Munro. And I was finally at the summit of Ben Luar Vor, and it'd been great. I found myself in my own wee world. I hadn't met a soul all day and hadn't seen anybody, which was great. It was just what I was needing, just that escape from the big bad world out there. And the views at the top weren't too bad. You got a great panorama and great views round the Eastern Highlands. It was fantastic. And you know what? It looked like the sun was going to come out as well. Oh, what a wonderful summit this is. Sits at 1,045 metres, Ben Leuren, and you can just see most of the Eastern Highlands and the Cairngorms from this peak. It's just fantastic. Over to the west, I can see the last peak of the Beneglow range, looking fantastic. All the Glen Shee hills over here, I can see Cairnwell and Cairnasda looking really small with the backdrop of Glass Mal behind it. Then over here to my north, I've got the main Cairngorm massif, and I can see right up the Larry Grew. It's just fabulous. And of course, just over here is Glaschillichan. And the last time I was here in this area was up that hill, probably, oh, I don't know, it must have been 3 or 4 months ago. And this whole area, there wasn't any greenery. It was just white. It really was like walking in the Arctic. It was a cracking winter day out. But yeah, this is lovely. So I'm going to retrace my steps back. Oh, this sunshine's just fantastic. I thought I was going to get soaked, but yeah, the shower seemed to be missing me. Anyway, yeah, I'm going to retrace my steps back over this is like it's almost like a Beneglow in miniature. It's a kind of an S-shaped, lots of little humps, ups and downs, back down to Glen Eye. Head back down there and get the bike. But you know what, I'm going to sit here for a bit longer and enjoy the sunshine until a shower comes in and hits me though. Fantastic, good stuff. What a day. I suppose. Right, time to go. So I suppose I should also just mention that the way I came up, I think I mentioned that there's no path really beyond where the bike was left. There's a ATV track. There are good paths when you're up here, but certainly doing this all as a one-off is maybe not well, I don't know. If you like pathless, heathery terrain and steep terrain, you can certainly come up here, but you do have to be careful, and it's quite a remote, or it's certainly got a remote feel about it. You do have to work to get to the summit. There's not any sort of easy access routes in. I mean, that cycle was quite a good few kilometres up Glen Eye, and coming in over Glaschillichan or even up these glens, it's a long way in. It's a long way in. So yeah, just yeah, if you're coming up here, just be wary of that. And of course, I'm lucky today. The sun's out. I can see everything. But when the fog's down, you would need your navigation skills to be pretty on par when you're up here. So anyway, enough me telling you what it's like up here and what have you. I need to get going. Maybe take a few photographs of the ridge with the sun on it. And yeah, let's get back to the bike. With the sun shining, I headed off the summit, and it was still a fairly long jaunt to get off the hill and down to the bike, and then that long cycle back down the glen. But you know what? I was really looking forward to the cycle. It was going to be nearly all downhill, so it gave me a wee spring in my step heading down the hill. Fantastic, and I soon reached the bike, and all that was needed now was to get my poles away, my helmet on, and freewheel down Glen Eye. Fantastic.